Welcome to my CRX. This car, I was actually looking for EG hatch, and then my buddy Ray, who works for RTR, he had this car sitting. It had a B18 swap, which is the engine that I wanted to put in the Civic when I got one, and it was really cheap. It was like $4 grand, and it had all the parts that I need, and the only purpose of this car was to basically have a car that my friends could drive and rip and do laps around the compounds. So we could have like a Top Gear style leaderboard of lap times, and then it kind of turned into the BC Racing branded compound lap time car, so it had to look good. So we painted it BC Racing gold with the two-tone black underneath. Ray knocked it out of the park. But what's cool about this car is it was essentially built with 99% of the parts that it came with. So this wasn't like a lot of my other cars where I just start swiping my credit card a bajillion times and run up a massive unrelatable tab. A lot of this car was just, you know, a little bit of paint, a little bit of polish. On the inside, the two most expensive bits would be the Recaro pole position seats, which are wonderful seats. My custom Yashio factory collab 4-point harnesses, which you can find on my website. And then of course, the custom cage done by Bell Raceworks. I did a drift style cage in this, which a lot of people found to be kind of funny, but I knew that the purpose of this car would be to rip around the compound, and there's a high likelihood that it could get wrapped around a tree. So I wanted it to be as safe as humanly possible. And when I gutted the doors and realized how much space there was, flaring the door bars out like that and adding intrusion bars just felt like it would be a lot safer to me. And then I have more peace of mind when people that aren't experienced driving front wheel drive rip this car around the compound. It is a GSR swap, so it's a B18C. It has the transmission that comes with that as well. I think the ratios are a little bit shorter. It has an LSD in the front. It's got a cable driven shifter. I don't know much about Honda stuff, so maybe I'm missing some important details. It's got the smelly intake manifold with the skunk stuff. Actually, this was another thing that I bought. This was a new JDM intake manifold because I thought, it's been a long day. I talk about a lot of car parts. It's got the smelly intake manifold, and then it's got the new JDM valve cover garnish. And then like literally, like, bro, I painted the headers, dude. I could have got new headers. Everything for this car is so unbelievably ridiculously cheap that I could have probably got new headers, but I painted them. Why not? Pretty soon we're gonna get a setup and I'm gonna start Cerakoting things and doing everything the right way. But it does have an SIR front end. It looks great. I don't remember what it weighed, but I think it was under 2,000 pounds, and this thing almost made 200 horsepower. Jamie Marsh tuned this car along with pretty much every other car here. And yeah, she's on Ignite Red as well, because why not? And we did as much as we could on her, and I think she cracked like 198 horsepower on the dyno. So not to be slept on. Looking forward to taking this to a Honda meet soon and hanging out with my fellow Honda brethren. I was so surprised how much love this car got. I think this is like one of my most liked Instagram posts of the entire year. I love it, and I think it's the coolest car, but I didn't think so many of you guys were gonna love it. Maybe because I don't like build Hondas, and I approached it with a different kind of mindset than a lot of people that build Hondas. And that's kind of what I feel like is the story with a lot of the cars here, because usually I'm not a part of the community at all. Like when I got my first Evo, which we'll talk about next, I didn't know anything about Evos, and I kind of just throw myself in head first. I learn as I go, and I pull a lot of things that I've learned from maybe the drift cars or the race cars or the other street cars that we've built in the past. It's been a long day. But anyway, here's the CRX, many more memories to come, but my fondest memory would definitely be probably cracking VTEC for the first time. I don't have the video of it, but the first time I cracked VTEC, I remember I had Colette in my lap, no seatbelt. We were driving around the compound. She's like, "Why did you buy this thing? This thing sucks." And I was like, "Just you wait." And then I was, and then she's like, "Whoa." It may not be fast, but it sounded fast. But back then it actually only made like 110 horsepower because it had a lot of issues. But then we fixed them and it made almost 200 horsepower.